Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary direct from our assignment desk, otherwise known as my Compost Heap. Let's see what stories we're working on this hour. Award season isn't over, folks. We're going to be announcing the winners on Compost Heap this week of the Compost Heap Indies, the awards for news excellence. So I have the envelope. First category is Profile in Preservationist PAP, won by two winners, the Zoning Board of Appeals and the NIMBY neighbors of the Atticus Market on East Rock. Why did they win? Because the neighbors convinced the cowards on the zoning board to stop Atticus from building a 600 square foot addition. They were building it so people could go to the bathroom. They needed a second bathroom. But it got turned down because it was also going to expand the store, God forbid, and have more room to buy stuff and people to work and do stuff in East Rock who want to do it. Their reason was that the addition, which jutted out into Linden Street, it didn't get rid of the sidewalk, but it made the Quiet Street sidewalk a little narrower, that was incongruous with the neighborhood. That's the fundamental flaw in all zoning and NIMBYism in our city, which is that what's congruous to them, this false idea of preservationism that's really preservation PAP, it doesn't preserve anything. The idea is that a neighborhood should be frozen picture in time. You picked a moment, it looked a certain way, it had this number of brick buildings, this number of three-story buildings, this number of square feet on the sidewalk. And then as the world changes, it's not supposed to change, even though it was already changing to create the moment you want to preserve. We live in a city, not a theme park. We want people to grow businesses and go places and come up with new ideas, rather than trying to stop the incongruity of evolution, change, and growth. Well, here's a big category. The Profile in Pusillanimity Award. I'm not sure why it's a cantaloupe, because I kind of like cantaloupe. Well, the winner is Yale Law School and Yale University. Now, we usually call it the Profile in Cowardice Award, but Yale Law School and Yale are so highfalutin about their big ideals that they stand up for free thought and inquiry and debate, the foundations of a free society. But when it comes down to it, they're just cowards. The latest example was this past week. There was this researcher who they barred from campus and suspended because an anonymous AI-driven website claimed she was an anti-Semite and a danger to the country. Her crime, even according to the anonymous accusation, was that she spoke at a conference hosted by a group who supports Palestinian Liberation Movement and perhaps Hamas, which I don't personally support, of course. This idea that Yale and Columbia and others have, that the Trump administration will stop holding back money and telling them what courses they can teach and what opinions people can have if they just lay low and cower. That doesn't work. It's never worked in history, because that's what the fascists always come for first, is to destroy the university as a place where people can think and speak freely. You have to stand up and fight. Yale has a $41.4 billion endowment. What's that money there for? Just to raise more money from hedge fund people? Or is it there so that it can be independent, and when the chips are down, when there's a threat, it can survive? Yale has the money to say, we are not going to stop being a university. We're not going to stop being a place for free thought and expression and debate. If you want to take away our money, we're not happy, but we have enough money to keep fulfilling our mission. And if you sue us, we have money for damn good lawyers. New Haven learned that when they tried to legitimately attack some property, and Yale's fancy lawyers just blew them out of the courtroom. As if they don't fight back, if they don't use that endowment for what their mission is, there's no reason for them to exist. Next up is the Profile in Persistence Award, Law Enforcement category. Let's see who won this week. New Haven Detective Keelan Nivikoff for cracking a cold case. This is an ice pack. I don't know if she used this or not, but she's really good at cracking cold cases. In this case, Detective Nivikoff found out where a child kidnapped in 1999 from New Haven, allegedly kidnapped, was in Mexico. And this week they announced that she cracked the case and the father and daughter will be reunited. Detective Nivikoff has been good for years at cracking cold cases, as well as sensitive investigations, finding missing people as a special victims unit detective. She even made the case against a serial rapist of sex workers and someone who was abusing sex workers who was a member of her own police force. Go to Detective Nivikoff. That's it. And the final award of the award season, there's a compost bucket, is Profile in Persistence Green Government category. Steve Winter, climate czar of New Haven, gets it, because this week he presented a plan for approval to pursue a state grant, $3.3 million, to create a scrap diversion operation. They want us to be able to put out our food scraps, the way we put out separately our recyclable paper and cans versus our regular trash, that's a great idea. Now, the reason it's persistent is because the Trump administration's war on our communities includes getting rid of anything they call Green New Deal, which means anything that makes the climate better, makes us breathe better. Because even if we get the grant, the state government, because of Trump's war, is going to have a lot less money to give out. But the idea is that unlike cowardly Yale, we got to keep persisting. We got to picture the society we want to live in and fight for it rather than hide, including composting. Until next time, this is the New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary. And remember, always pick up and recycle your trash while we still can.